Can't believe this. I'm not even finished making the video about my last injury, which, that was easy. And I'm making a video about another injury. The last time I did a run that was as long as the one I'm doing now, 3 weeks ago. The marathon's in 2 weeks. I should be starting my taper now. I've not even started training properly. It's not gone well, lads, it's not gone well. My fitness is okay. I've been on the bike a lot, but this run's gonna test whether I'm healed over a longer distance. Let's get it. 1.3 kilometers. Couldn't ask for a more beautiful morning to be out. It's 2.5k deep. Everything's feeling fine. Still at that sort of warm-up pace, 6 minutes per kilometer, heart rate in the 120s. Everything feels good so far. Warm-up phase sort of done. I've taken off the outer layers and it's time to go a little bit faster. So it's my left side, and when I'm running I can't feel it, but I just crouch down there and I can feel, you know, something. Like it just felt like a nice stretch, but I shouldn't be feeling a stretch when I'm just squatting down. If anything starts flaring up as I'm running now, I'm just going to cut it short. There's no point pushing it at this point. I've still got 2 weeks of recovery potential. Currently sustaining just around marathon pace. Heart rate's 141, which puts me in the warm out zone. That's not going to last long. Slipping from marathon pace. I need to push a little harder. Too slow now because I'm talking. Let's try and put some power down for a little bit and stop this yabbering. Fuck, it's a beautiful morning though. It's right there, that's where it hurts. Just did 10 minutes at about marathon pace. From a cardiovascular perspective, felt great, didn't even challenge me a bit. But this fucking ankle, feels absolutely fine around the 6:20 minutes per kilometre mark. I'm just going to stick at this for 10 more minutes and then see how it feels. 45 minutes, 7.9k. I'm pretty sure no matter what, I've got it in me to finish. The other thing is there's plenty more marathons to come. Also my triathlon goals are sort of coming into focus now as well, but I'll talk about that another time. I used to work there. My first ever office job. I had paper round and I had B&Q and I worked there. It's like a stretch. I can feel it here, but then it's kind of gone now. Like it's gone now. I can't find a position that gets it, but all it'll take is landing wrong again, and it'll be agony. I think acupuncture is the way to go. I think I'm going to book in for next week if I can. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, some potentially interesting developments there. I did about 12 minutes at my desired marathon pace. We were just on that line between zone 2 and zone 3, just dipping in between the two. Pretty much didn't feel anything in my Achilles apart from one time. And it's as I went round a corner that went up onto a bridge. And as I went round the corner, I fully planted my heel, and that just like tugged it, and it felt a little bit of discomfort. I wouldn't say pain, but it was enough to make me go, ooh, I wonder if I've got this in me, because that felt great. Not quite the 2 hours, but That's 1 hour 43 minutes with 2 like 10-ish minute marathon pace sections. Felt okay. Obviously, some stuff not quite right. 18.35 kilometers, that's the furthest I've run in a while. Doesn't bode well, does it? But let's get some breakfast. Oh. Ooh. As I stepped up the steps then, the Achilles just went. I think it's the Achilles, I mean, I can't see what else it could be. Oh, right, some more days off, I think. So after weeks of thinking it was my Achilles, I was completely wrong. The problem actually is in my Hallucis longus tendon, which I'll be referring to from now on as HLT. While running hard wasn't advisable, it did give me more information to work with. More pain meant a more pronounced response to stretching and moving my ankle, and armed with that info, I was able to figure out that it wasn't actually my Achilles that was damaged, but my HLT. This is a much smaller tendon in charge of big toe flexion. It makes so much more sense that this was the issue, because all the metrics I've been using to test whether or not my Achilles is healed show that my Achilles is healed because my Achilles was never damaged in the first place. So I've got no problem like bouncing or like lifting heavy weights. Then I go out and run thinking everything's okay because all those sort of things that I'm using to test it come up as fine, and the problem arises. I think this has shown me why it's so important to get the right diagnosis, figure out what it is properly before you start on some sort of rehab regime. I've now found some exercises that are actually targeting this tendon muscle combo. Banded toe curls and toe scrunches with towel. Also makes a lot of sense why me running slower doesn't really affect it, because it's responsible for that explosive pushing off as opposed to the measured sort of striding that the Achilles is more responsible for. The original sin for this was that fast 5k, especially the sprint at the end, because I really went hard on that sprint at the end. I was pushing way more power through that than I have done, and it's something that I think you need to train. You need to get strength in there first before you go out and just blast through a 5k or a 10k. And it also then makes sense why, as I push harder on the marathon speed sessions, that's when it's getting irritated. Now, because it's not responsible for that running, it's getting irritated, but it's not hurting as I'm running. It's only when I then try and flex my foot to like an acute angle that it actually hurts. Basically what's happening is it's getting inflamed. It then can't fit through the sort of tunnel, which if you think about it, is kind of like the carpal tunnel in your wrist. There's a tunnel, helps the tendons go past your ankle bone, and when it's inflamed it's bigger, it can't fit through that. So when I'm stretching, putting my foot in that acute angle, that's when the pain kicks in. As I do these faster runs, it's getting inflamed, it's getting irritated, but like I say, it's only as I then go to like walk up some steps that the pain actually hits. So I've got 2 weeks to get this sorted. Alan's actually just messaged me. It's going to come down to the wire. I'm going to have to rest it right up until the end and then see. I don't want to damage it further, but I also don't want to waste this marathon place. I think I can probably run about 5-10 minutes per kilometre pace and not suffer. I don't think I'll be hitting the full goal pace of 4:44. I don't think there's any chance of that. So for now, it's just back to walking loads. Much as possible.